So welcome back, guys. We're on the retirement plans now. Let's talk about retirement plans. Qualified plans, characteristics. You guys got that sheet, right? Let's go over the different qualified plan characteristics. Okay, now here's what qualified plans are, okay? Qualified plans are provided by the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, right? And include such tax advantages as deductible contributions and tax deferred growth. These are tax advantages for both the employer and the employee. Qualified plans must have the following characteristics. One, be for the exclusive benefit of the employee and their beneficiaries. Got it? So the qualified plans must have following characteristics. So, I tell people qualified plans are kind of like, but this is specifically what they are, okay? The the qualified plans, they must be for the exclusive benefits of the employees and their beneficiaries. Two, be formally written and communicated to the employee. They got to be formally written and communicated to the employee. So they got to have a meeting with them and tell them what their benefits are, okay? Use a contribution formula that does not discriminate in favor of officers, stockholders, and highly paid employees. So they got to have a contribution formula, how they contribute to you, that does not discriminate in favor of the officer, officers of the company, stockholders of the company, and highly paid employees. So the employees can't be discriminated against, so they can still get benefits also, okay? And they are not geared exclusively to the prohibited group, or not geared exclusively solely to the prohibited group. And are permanent and approved by the IRS and have vesting requirements. In other words, you got to be around a certain part. You got certain times you got to put into it, right? That's your vesting requirement. So let's just look at vesting. Okay, you say, what's vest? Let's look at that. All right, in other words, let me read these again. The qualified plans are to be for the exclusive benefit of the employee and their beneficiaries, be formally written and communicated to the employee. Use a contributory formula that does not discriminate in the favor of the officers, stockholders, and highly paid employees. So it's got to be for the regular employees too, not just highly paid employees. It's for everybody. And are not geared exclusively to the prohibited group. It's not geared toward, solely towards a prohibited group of people that are prohibited. It's not, okay, and it's got to be permanent. All right. So the qualified plan got to be permanent. It's not like they got to stop it tomorrow. It's a permanent plan, and are approved by the IRS. The IRS approves this, and they got to have vesting requirements. Let's look up vesting so we can make sure this is actually defined for you. Give me the definition of vesting, V-E-S-T-I-N-G. So vesting is a process that is used to protect both the employer and the employee when it comes to their assets, savings, stocks. Okay, let me see here. We define vesting as a process by which an individual earns the right to own or exercise certain assets, such as shares, options, or other forms of equity compensation over a specified period of time. So it gives the individual this is a process whereby the individual earns the right to own or exercise certain assets, certain shares, certain options, certain other forms of equity compensation over a specified period of time. So you got to be there for a certain period of time so that you can actually get the benefits. If you haven't been there for a certain period of time, you're not vested, so you don't get the full benefits or no benefits. Okay? That's what that stands for. So let's see what the derivation of vesting is, okay? What's the origin of the word vesting?
According to Merriam-Webster, in Italian, investire had been used since the 14th century with the meaning to commit money in order to earn a financial return, and entered English around.
We're going to put down in not origin of the word investing, origin of the term vesting. That's vesting. So from the Middle Dutch vestings, equivalent to vesting plus ing, early 15th century, to put in possession of a person. Oh, look at that, to put in possession of a person. So vesting is to put in the possession, so you can possess it, put into the possession of person. From Old French, vestir, to clothe. So you can clothe yourself with all that vesting. See, if you've been there, you've been vested, you can clothe yourself, you can get dressed. From the medieval Latin vestir, to put into possession to put in possession to. So, I guess that makes sense. That's good. See how you can look up the origin of words? See, words are very important. As you know, the word is very important, right? So you have to know what the words mean, and then you can get the full use of them, because if you use, then you receive your blessings. Without being able to use it, you don't get your blessings, because you get blessed by your actions. If you don't act, you don't get your blessings. Anyway, you got what I'm trying to do. Trying to teach you how to use your dictionary. And it's better to use your dictionary. I use that because it's quick reference here. But use your regular dictionary is even better, okay? And because I got plenty of those. All right, but for the sake of this film, I got to go quick. Okay, look. Let's go here now. Let's go to something else here. So we got that down. So you got to be there for a certain period of time. So you got to have a vesting requirement, meaning you got to be there for a certain period of time. You put in your dues, so now you've earned the right to possess. And you can't possess unless you've been in the company for maybe a year, or maybe you've been there, had to be there 2 years. But they got that vesting privileges, for they'll let you have all your full vesting rights, okay? Sometimes 4 years. All right, now you got it. Individual qualified retirement plans. Let's look at it. So we covered what we covered what a qualified plan is. Let's cover what a non-qualified plan is now. So you got what the qualified plans. I read them off to you. You got to be that, right? So let's go to non-qualified plans. Here it goes. The non-qualified plans go like, okay, non-qualified plans require no government approval and are used as a means for an employer to discriminate in favor of valued employees with regard to benefits. Let's read that again. Non-qualified plans require no government approval and are used as a means for an employer to discriminate in favor of a valued employee with regards to benefits. So just know that. 2, they do not have the tax advantages of qualified plans. Next, they can accept after-tax contributions. Okay? Examples of non-qualified plans are individual annuities. You put money into an insurance contract, a way to save money for your retirement, okay? Deferred compensation plans. So deferred comp plans are non-qualified plans. Split dollar insurance agreements, split dollar insurance agreement, and executive bonus plans. We talked about the executive bonus plan where you give the executive a bonus to buy some life insurance and everything, right? That's what that's for. It's for non-qualified plans. And split dollar insurance agreements. Okay, split dollar insurance agreement. I need to look more into that as far as what the definition of that is. But the deferred comp plan. So now we know where deferred comp plans come from. Deferred compensation plans. Let's look at this right here. Let's ask Google here. What is a split dollar insurance agreement?
According to Forbes, under a collateral assignment split dollar policy, you own the policy, but the other party, often an employer, helps pay the premiums.
Okay, now see, I don't go over words I don't understand. Gotta respect the word. I'm telling you. Otherwise, you won't know anything. So I see now. So a split dollar insurance agreement is basically used with a collateral assignment. So you're assigning parts of the benefits. Split dollar is a split dollars. Used on a collateral assignment split dollar policy. You, the insured person, own the policy, but the other party, often an employer, helps pay the premium. Okay. So you're splitting up who's paying for the premium. Okay, so it's an agreement where two parties, an employer and employee, agree to split the benefits and sometimes the cost of the life insurance policy. Wow. So in this case, you can have it set up so that you can have it so that you can pay, the employer can pay part of it. It's like it's a benefit plan. They'll pay part of it and you pay part of it. So it's a split dollar plan. So I can see that. Yeah. Here's the major disadvantage of a split dollar plan. Some potential disadvantages of a split dollar insurance include complex tax implications, potential disputes over policy ownership, limitations on the employee's ability to access cash value, and a need for careful planning to ensure compliance with applicable regulations. So, it can get kind of complex. You just have to, if you have a split dollar plan and then the employee is paying for it, it could be that he's paying part of it and you can get the entire benefits or whatever, right? Or it could be that he might want to have part of the benefits if he's paying for part of your policy and everything. So it all depends upon how you set it up. So I've seen split dollar plans where the employer pays part of it and then the employee pays part of it. And then, it's just a benefit for the employee. He's got to have to pay it all by himself. His employer's helping him and pay for it, but he still gets all the benefit going to his family and everything. But it still could be because the employee is paying part of it. It could be that part of the money that's actually being paid out to your family may be taxable because you're not paying it all by yourself. Your employer is paying some of it for you, okay? So that is some of the problem with a non-qualified plan is that the benefits, because it's split dollar, it could be that all your benefits you get may not be completely tax-free. See, when you pay for a policy yourself, an individual policy, when you die, then you get all the money tax-free. If you're coming from an insurance company and you're not paying any of the fees, the company's paying it all, it could be that a certain portion of that is taxable to you. It depends upon the state and how it's actually set up. So that's all that really means, okay? Let's go now to the individual. Now let's now look at the individual. So I just tell you what non-qualified plans are, right? So basically non-qualified plans are like these, you've heard of, deferred comp plans that people have. So the deferred comp plan, then the deferred comp plan is a plan that's designed, is strictly, is for they can discriminate and go towards the people, some of the employees that are making the most money or whatever. They like certain people. So if you got a non-qualified plan, you can do that. You can discriminate legally. But if it's a qualified plan, the government won't allow it. Okay, and so non-qualified plans include split dollar insurance agreements, executive bonus plans, and everything like that. That's all non-qualified type benefits that you can give to the person. And so now you got a difference between the non-qualified plan characteristic and the qualified plan's characteristic. Okay. All right, now. So let's go under individual qualified retirement plans. Let's go with the individual retirement account, the IRA first of all, okay? Here we go. The IRA, that's the traditional IRA, the one that most people use, traditional IRAs. So let me explain that. Let's go with the IRAs, okay? IRAs. So now on an individual retirement account. All right, let's go. What are those? Okay. All right. So that one point is allows anyone to earn income to make contributions. So it allows anyone. Let's say you. It allows anyone with earned income, EARNED, earned income, to make contributions. Allows anyone with earned income to make contributions, regardless of age. That's good. See, you can make contributions regardless of age. Contributions to the traditional IRA are made with pre-tax dollars. So contributions to that IRA, are made, they're making those contributions with pre-tax dollars. In other words, the money has not been taxed. All the money goes into the IRA they send up. It goes in pre-tax. No taxes come out. And so therefore it is tax deductible. So anything you put into our traditional IRA is tax deductible, okay? Number 3 here. The participants can contribute up to a specific dollar limit each year. You have a specific dollar amount that you can contribute to each year. Specific dollar amount limit, right, that they can do each year. This year is up to $8,000 if you're above 50, $7,000 if you're below 50. Okay, so but it changes each year. I mean, or it can change each year, but they change typically as time goes on. So sometimes that you put more and more money into it. So now you know it's got a certain limit that you could put into an IRA each year. Okay, now participants age 50 and over can make catch-up contributions. So if you're 50 or more, they call it catch-up contributions, because you're trying to put more in it because you're about to retire. That's catch-up, okay? You got it? So that's called catch-up contributions. All right? A married couple can contribute double the individual amount. A married couple can contribute double the individual amount even if only one spouse has earned income, but the money must be kept in two separate accounts. So let's say your spouse is not working, but you are working. It could be a man, could be a woman that's not working. So let's say you're working and your spouse is at home, he can still contribute money to it, even though even though you're working and he's not working. So he can still put money in there, right? So, but it has to be kept separate, okay? It's like a non-working spouse. All right, must begin receiving contributions by age 72. Must receive the required minimum distribution rate. Now, it's now changed, okay? So I got 72 in here, but we're going to get the latest one because I think now it's, I think it's 73 now. But anyway, we'll try to keep you updated on that. But on this one, it says 72 must receive required minimum distribution by that. So you can put money into it, but you got to get a required minimum distribution. In other words, they got to start taking money out of the plan. On here it says by age 72, okay? And I know that's different now because this has been printed about a year ago, and then with the pandemic, things have kind of shifted. So we just got to see what the new number is. But you can look in your recent book. It should tell you exactly what it is based upon the recentness. If you got a recent book, okay? And Roth IRA. Now we're gonna go into, so that's what you got for an IRA, traditional IRA, okay? Traditional IRA allows anybody to contribute that's making earned income, regardless of their age. The contributions are made pre-tax dollars, so that means you can write it off. There's a specific amount you can do each year, and then by a certain age, right on this page it says by 72 you can take money out. But if you look at your current book, it'll tell you what specific age you got to start taking money out. That's an RMD. There's a required minimum distribution. So when people say RMD, that's all they're talking about, the required minimum amount that you got to take out. By them forcing you to take money out of your IRA, then the IRS can get tax money. IRS sometimes wants to be paid. Look, you getting paid, I want to get paid too. So you take money out, I want my share. So then you have to take part of your money to pay the IRS. Anyway, that's what that's all about, okay? Now let's go to Roth IRAs. Let's go to Roth IRAs. So what's a Roth IRA? Let's read about it. Contributions are not tax deductible. They're made with after-tax dollars. They're made with after-tax dollars. Contributions are not tax deductible because they're made with after-tax dollars. All right, let's look at some more here. Excess contribution penalty of 6%. If you put too much in there in your Roth IRA, there's an excess penalty you have to pay. An excess penalty you got to pay up 6%. Here's another point here. Qualified distributions, money sent to you, cannot occur until account is open for 5 years. So you got to have that account. So when you set up a Roth IRA, if you got a Roth, that's you right here, right? You set up a Roth. But you can't have the contribution that you put into that Roth are not tax deductible. They're not tax deductible because you already paid taxes on the money. So you're using tax money to fund this Roth IRA. You already paid the taxes. So using tax money that's already been taxed, using taxed money, TAXED, to fund the Roth IRA. So when you put that $100 in there, it's already been taxed. So you can't write it off because you already paid the tax on it. You never write it off. See, with this traditional IRA, you putting in money before you paid taxes. You got it? That money goes in without paying tax, what you haven't paid taxes on. so you can write the whole thing off. But this one, you already paid tax on it, so you can't write it off. Any excess contributions above what you should have in there. Let's say you know the limit is $7,000 for somebody below 50 years old for this year, but you put in more than $7,000, then there's a excess contribution penalty of 6%. You don't want that, do you? A qualified distribution cannot occur until account is open for 5 years. So qualified distributions, you can get money out of a Roth, although you can't write it off. You can start getting money out after 5 years if it's been open for at least 5 years. Okay? So this account you set up, this Roth setup, has to be set up for 5 years before you can start taking distributions out. So you can start taking money out. Well, let's say here, before you can start taking money out to you. Say, give me some more money. Give me some more money. If you've only had enough for less than 5 years, if you take any money out, well, you can't take it out. Okay? Qualified distributions cannot occur until after 5 years. So you don't qualify for it. And the participant is 59 and a half years old. So you got to be 5 years or 59 and a half years old. That's when you can take money out of it. Hold just 1 second. So a Roth IRA, you got to set up for, if you have it set up for 5 years and you're 59 and a half, then you can start taking qualified distributions from it, okay? Let me see. So qualified distributions, you have to have it for 5 years, and it's a 59 and a half. Then you take money out. Then you're due the money, and you don't have to pay any tax on it. It's all tax free at that point. 5 years, at least 5 years of having that account set up, and you're 59 and a half and above, you can start taking money out of that account, tax free. Pretty good, huh? So now we got that down. So now you got the Roth cornered. You know what a Roth IRA is. Let's now go to rollovers and transfers. Rollovers, all right, and transfers. Rollovers, tax-free distributions of cash from one retirement account to another. That's a rollover. It's tax-free distribution of cash from one retirement plan to another. So you're going from a 401k plan to a rollover IRA. It's tax-free, right, for right now. It must be completed within 60 days from the time the money is taken out. It must be completed within 60 days from the time the money is taken out of the first plan. So if you get the money and you got it, you need to have it transferred over into another one within 60 days. You got it? There's a 60-day rollover. If you take it all out and you put it in your hands, you got 60 days to complete it and get it rolled over to another one, otherwise you're going to be taxed. Oh, you got it? So rollover, let's go over rollovers. Let's write it down. Rollovers. You're doing a rollover, you roll the money from this 401k plan, you roll it over to a traditional IRA. So that's one account. You set up that through me, and you got your money here. If you're gonna roll that $100,000 over, 100K, that's means $100,000, right? You roll it over here, that's a rollover. You're taking it from a 401k type plan to a traditional IRA. That's a rollover. All right. And then if some companies will send it to you first, then I can come get the check from you and send it on to here, or you can take that check and send it on to your traditional IRA that we set up. All right. So, but you got 60 days if they send it to you to go ahead and get that money on over to that plan that we set up. You got it? So that's how I'm trying to get you not memorize, but know this stuff. If a distribution from the first plan is paid directly to the participant, 20% must be withheld by the payer. It could be they send a check to you. They didn't make it out to you. They made it out to the traditional IRA, but they want you to go and send it off. So you got 60 days to get that check off. But if they actually make it out into your name, then they got to take tax out. So if the participant from the first plan is paid directly to the participant, 20% must be withheld by the payer. So that 401k plan pays it to you. Now they can send you a check to send it here, but they pay you a direct check made out to Joe Blow, and that's your name, Joe Blow. Then $100,000 got to be taxed by 20%, so you only get $80,000, right? $80,000 what you get because you chose to get it in your own hot little hands. You roll it directly over, you don't have to pay the tax on it right now. It's tax deferred. If the distribution is made directly from the first plan to the trustee or the administrator to the new IRA, the 20% withholding can be avoided. This is called a direct rollover. So you do this. This is a direct D-R-A-C-T rollover. The money rolled directly over from your old plan to your new one. That's a direct rollover. If it comes to you first, if it comes to you in the form of a check, but it made out to the, let's say you got it with, Fidelity. We do Fidelity funds too, right? Let's say they made out a check to Fidelity, and then we set the IRA up to you. You get it made out to Fidelity, but they send it to you to send it there, okay? So that's fine, as long as the check's not made out to you. If it made out to you, then all you're gonna get is $80,000. The IRS got, and the $20,000 went to who? The IRS, Internal Revenue Service, okay? That's who got the rest of it. So you don't want to pay it out to you because you got to pay your taxes right away. Let's do a rollover and you avoid all that taxation. So that's what you call a direct rollover. Now let's talk about a transfer, because there's also, so rollovers go from like there's a group, see, a rollover is going from a group type retirement account, group retirement, to an individual retirement. You see what I'm talking about? That's a rollover. Now let's look at the transfer. You said, Joe, what's a transfer? Well, you can do a transfer also. Transfers are going from, transfers is reading what it says. Tax-free transfers of funds from one retirement program to a traditional IRA, or a transfer of interest in a traditional IRA from one trustee directly to another one. That's what you call a transfer. Let me read that again after I take a sip of water here. All right, here we go. Tax-free transfer of funds from one retirement program to a traditional IRA, or a transfer of interest in a traditional IRA from one trustee to another one is a transfer. You got it? So, tax-free transfers of funds from one retirement program to a traditional IRA, or a transfer of interest in a traditional IRA from one trustee to another. That's what you call a transfer, okay? Typically, here's what I see, okay? A transfer is when you got an IRA. Let's say you already transferred the money from Exxon retirement account to your let's say ABC investing company, okay? And you take it from the ABC investment company. That's an IRA that you set up because it's an individual retirement account you set up coming from Exxon, and then you transfer from that IRA to another. That's when you transfer it. But when you roll over from the group retirement account to an individual retirement account, that's what you call a rollover, direct rollover. And then you transfer from IRA to IRA. That's a transfer, okay? So you transfer from IRA to IRA, or you transfer from a group retirement account to maybe another one and another company. Then you just put it from 401k plan to 401k plan. So I'm not sure what you can call that. I directly call that a transfer if it's a like kind to a like kind. But if I'm going from a group to an individual, I call that use a transfer. That's the way I understand it. And I think that seems to be the way it kind of stands up. Okay, now, so if you transfer, a tax transfer of funds from one retirement program to a traditional IRA, or a transfer of interest in a traditional IRA from one trustee director to another, that's a transfer, okay? It's a trustee from one trustee directed to another, okay? So you're going from one trustee, one company to another trustee, okay? So that's a transfer. Now, let's go to plans for employers. Plans for employers. Let's see if we stick one more thing on here. All right, plans for employers. So these are the plans for employers. Employers, okay, Ployers. Now these are the people that you work for, right? So plans for employers. So Exxon, Dow, Chevron, all the rest of those companies, they got certain employer plans that they go with. So they're now. First of all, let's go with the one they're trying to go over first. Here is self-employed plans. So you got people that are self-employed, they're working for themselves. Maybe they got a tax business, something like that. They form KEOGH plans, KEOGH. They're called HR10 plans. So one group plan is a KEOGH plan. This is for self-employed people. They set up KEOGH plans, KEOGH. And the tax code is called an HR10. That's on the IRS tax code, HR10. He got an HR10. That's the tax code, right? HR10. It's for self-employed individuals. Contributions are made with pre-tax dollars. They must be self-employed or a partner working part-time or full-time who owns at least 10% of the business. Next, they must work full or part-time and own at least 10% of the business. And withdrawals must begin no later than age 72, according to this present form I got here. Okay? Now, you can always check your book and see what they changed it for the year, because this part is actually was created within the last year. All right, now, so that's a self-employed plan, a KEOGH plan, KEOGH. It's an HR10 registered on the IRS. So those are for self-employed employees. Contributions are made with pre-tax dollars. They must be self-employed or the partner working part-time or full-time who owns at least 10% of the business. And they must work part-time or full-time and must own 10% of the business. And withdrawal must begin by age 72. So withdrawals must begin by age 72. They got to start taking withdrawals by 72. So now you got what a self-employed plan is called. Now you got some people that are bigger than a self-employed plan. They got a small employer or self-employed plan. So small employer or self-employed plan. So look at now what a small, let's look at now a small employer. Maybe you only have 2 people that you hire, okay? A small employer, SMALL, small employer, or a self-employed plan, or self-employed plan. The first is just a self-employed plan. The other one is a small employer or self-employed plan. They can have a SEP plan, an SEP. SEP. That's a simplified employee pension plan, okay? A SEP, simplified employee pension plan. Employees establish and maintain an IRA. So employee establish and maintain an IRA The employer contributes the employees to the employee's IRA. The employer contributions are not included in the employee's gross income. So the employer's contributions are not included in the employee's gross income. So the SEP, okay, yeah. So the employer's contributions are not included in the SEP gross income. So SEP contributions can be much larger than the IRA contributions. So the SEP contributions can be much larger than the IRA contributions. IRS established dollar limit at 25% of the employee's compensation, whichever is less. You got it? So the SEP contributions can be much larger than the IRA contribution, than a regular IRA contribution. So IRS established dollar limit or 25% of the employee's compensation, whichever is less. Okay? So that's what you do. A dollar amount or a percentage. So you got a SEP plan, you got a simplified employee pension plan, then they can put money into that plan for so really what's happening is with a SEP plan, the employer is putting the money in there. And the money that they're putting in there is not included. This money is not included in the employee's gross income. When they get that, when they get a W-2, let's say the W-2 is for like $50,000. All right, $50,000. Then what the company can do is they can put this SEP plan. You can put 25%. What's 25% of $50,000? You can do it like this. Well, I just do it like this for you. $12,500, right? So basically, $12,500 is what that is, right? That's what 50% of that is. So $12,500 or $12,000 can be put into that plan for that employee each year. You got it? So that's really what's going on. That's what you can do. All right, we got that. That's what a SEP plan can do for you, okay? So now what are the benefits of a SEP? Employee establishes and maintains an IRA. The employer contributes to the employer's IRA. The employee contributions are not included in the employee's taxable income, gross income. And then the SEP contributions are made much larger than the contribution made to an IRA. So you can put more money in there. Now let's look at another type plan called simple plans. Okay? Let's look at the simple plans now. Let's see where they have enough space here. I think I'm going to stop on that page right there for the simple. So we just covered all the different IRAs, guys. There are a lot of these type things you can set up. And it's good for you to know this because you're going to need to know it. Even if you don't have to know it for this insurance test, you will have to know it for your investment license, okay? So let's look at, looking at Roth IRAs. Here we go, simplified employee pension plan. We already got that, SEP plans. We go into simple plans now. Simple plans. I might just write up here so we can create more room. Simple plans. That's what we're talking about now. Let's go with the simple plans. These are savings, incentive, match plans for employees. So simple, see? Simple plans, I can spell it out like it's savings. S stands for savings. I stands for, that's the M and that's I in simple. Saving, incentive, saving, incentive, match, plans. SIMP, saving, incentive match plans for employees, right? So PLE. Saving incentive match plans for employees. Wow, isn't that awesome? So now you know what a simple plan is. Saving incentive match plans for employees. That's what you call them, simple plans. So your plans for small businesses with no more than 100 employees. Participants must receive at least $5,000 in compensation the previous year. The employer must have a qualified plan currently in place. The employees can defer a specific amount each year, and the employer matches it dollar for dollar up to an amount equal to 3% of the employee's annual compensation. Taxes are deferred on contributions and earnings until withdrawn. So taxes are deferred on the contributions and earnings until withdrawn, okay? So it's a simple plan. It's like having a 401k plan in a way on a job, but you don't have to match as much, okay? So simple plan is savings incentive match plan for employees. That's what simple plans stand for. And you got to have less than 100 employees. The participant must receive at least, let's put this down. You got to have at least 100, well, no more than 100 employees, right? All right. Participants must receive at least $5,000 in compensation. So the previous year. So the previous year, the participants must have received $5,000 in compensation the previous year. You got to have no more than 100 employees, and the employer must have a qualified plan currently in place. And the employer, I say this employer here, must have a qualified plan currently in place. So you already got it set up. You already got it currently set up. You got to have at least, and then the person last year got to have at least receive $5,000. You got to be no more than 100 employees. And the employees can defer a specific amount each year. That's one of the points. Here's another point. The fourth point is the employee can defer a specific amount each year. So the employee, that's the employee that he's smiling, can defer a specific amount each year. And the employer use that employer again, that company, right? And the employer matches it, right? Matches dollar per dollar up to the amount equal to the percent of the employee's annual compensation. It must match it dollar per dollar. up to an amount equal to 3% of the employee's annual compensation. Up to 3% of annual comp. Okay, so they can match you up to 3% annual comp. Taxes are deferred on contributions and earnings. Taxes are deferred on contributions and earnings until withdrawn. So all the money you put in there, all the money they match you, all tax deferred until later, until you start drawing money out. Okay, so that's another type plan. Is a savings incentive match plan for employees. That's what you call a simple plans. It's simple because simple stands for savings incentive match plans for employees. Is that awesome? That's exactly what it stands for. Now, so you got that one done. So let's go to the next type on here. There's another type called employer plans. Some of them are small employer or self-employed. Now you go into employer, so you get like a bigger company. Employer plans. The employer plans, these are like profit sharing plans. Because the employees are helping you make the profits, right? So you got profit sharing plans, so you kind of share some of the profits. Now, with these employer plans or profit sharing plans, these are like PSPs, right? Portions of the company profit share with employees. So what's happening is portions or percentage of the company's profits shared with the employee. All right, that's one thing. Here's another thing. Contributions only in year of profits, or contributions only in years of profit. So why is that important? See, if the employees are helping the company make profits, then they can share in the profits. If they don't really try to help the company make profit, then they don't get any money put in their profit sharing plan because the company is making a profit because they might have lost money. So it's incenting the employers to do a good job so that they can get profits shared with them. So contribution only in the years of profit. A contribution must be systematic and substantial. Let's say that again. So contributions must be systematic and substantial. It must be some money. It needs to be systematic. Something he's doing on a systematic basis. It's set up on a systematic basis, and it must be substantial. Okay. So those are profit sharing plans. Here's some other points on that. Okay. For instance, they could have a systematic program and a substantial. You can have a 401k plan. Like a 401k plan. 401k. So a 401k plan is like a systematic and substantial type plan, okay? So the contribution must be substantial and systematic and substantial. And other points is that's like a 401k plan. Another point is contributions withheld from employees' salaries on a pre-tax basis up to a certain dollar limit, adjusted annually for inflation. So contributions are withheld from the employee's salary. So they don't put all the money, they take money out of his check and they put the money to the 401k plan, okay? and on a pre-tax basis. So they're done pre-tax, or a specific dollar limit is what they put in there. So it's adjusted annually for inflation. Next thing is the company can match on either a dollar for dollar or a percentage basis. So the company can match on a dollar for dollar basis. Dollar for dollar is dollar per dollar. It's dollar for dollar basis. Or a percentage basis, okay? Or a percentage basis. In other words, it could be 6% of whatever they put in there, okay? So that 6% could either be up to $400 a month or whatever that person's making, okay? So it either be based upon a dollar per dollar or they match a certain percent. So now you got that down, okay? And also, participant age 50 and above can make catch-up contributions. So if you got a 401k plan, so participants who are 50 years old can make, remember we said catch up before? Catch up contributions. They can do that to their Roth IRA or their traditional IRA. They can also do it in their 401k plan. They can make catch-up contribution, maybe because they started working late. They're trying to retire in 15, 20 years, so they put more in so they can catch up, so they can retire with dignity, with enough money. And the employee can take a loan against a 401k due to hardship. Employee can take a loan due to hardship. So now you can borrow against it, but the money you pay back is paid back to your plan. So it's better than a loan from an insurance policy, because with the insurance policy, you're paying it back to the company. This loan, you're paying it back to your plan. So that's good. So employees can make a loan up against their 401k plan due to hardship. And the plans for nonprofit organizations. Now we got all that done. We're gonna look at now the plan. Now the plan, check this out, guys. We're gonna do the plan now for nonprofit organizations. All right. Nonprofit organizations, plans for PNP, okay. And plans for nonprofit organizations, these are called organization. These are called 403B plans, okay? So you heard of people having a 403B plan? The 403B plan, that's a tax code, IRS tax code. 403B plans for a nonprofit organization. 401k plans are for profit organizations, okay? So let me tell you the things on that. So qualified plans is a qualified plans for a certain nonprofit organization under section 501c. It's under the tax code 501c. That's Internal Revenue C3s, okay? 501c3. So 401(c)(3) plans are 501c3 plan through the IRS code. And the employees of the public school systems. So a public school system, they could qualify for a 403B plan, okay? Contributions can be made by employer or the employee through salary reductions and are excluded from the employee current tax income. So that money is excluded from the current. So when they take the money out, they ain't got to pay tax on it because that money was put into a 403B plan, so they ain't got to pay tax on it. They'll pay taxes on that money when they start taking it out. So let's help people retire with some dignity, okay? So contributions can be made by employer or employees through salary reductions and are excluded from the employee's current income. So the employer can make those payments for you, take it out for you, or the employee can be paid by the employer or the employee through salary reductions and are excluded from employee current taxes and the same catch-up contribution limits as a 401k plan. So they got the same catch-up contribution limits. So these plans, these plans have a catch-up and contribution limits. As a 401k plan, okay? So the 401k plan are for profit, this is for profit companies. And the 401(b) plan, these are for nonprofit, 501c3s is what you call them. That's for nonprofit, okay? So now you basically now have all the different plans that these groups these are the type of group plans you can set up for retirement for people. And so you can pick the one based upon the size of that company. That would determine which ones you can set up for those particular companies that are out there and which one kind of matches the benefits the employer wants to create for his employees, or just the best one for everybody. You just have to know them so you can know which one to pick. So I just explained all the different 401k plans and retirement plans, and I think that's awesome. So anyway, we're gonna pause right there. So now we've covered all the different retirement plans. 403(b) plans are for nonprofit. 401k is for profit organizations. You got the employer plan, profit sharing plans, and but the company's got to make profit, otherwise they ain't got to put any money in your plan. And you got the small employer or self-employed plans. Those are the simple employee pension plans. That's the SEP plans for small companies, or the simple plans. Remember, savings incentive match plan for employees. Those are the simple plans whereby you can match, but you don't have to match up to like 3%, so they're less expensive to set up than a 401k plans. So those are for small employers, okay? They either SEP or simple plan for small employers, okay? And then if you just self-employed, don't have many employees at all or none, you can just use a KEO plan, okay? So basically that's it. If you're an individual person, you use IRAs, either a traditional one or you use a Roth IRA, okay? So basically that's it with the different retirement plans. So you did a good job. You learned it very well. Well, at least you listened very well, I guess. And then now we'll come back in next with taxation for life insurance. So thank you for listening. Hope you learned a lot on this, okay?